Yeah, it's John G. Sutton here. Tales from the Jails. Thanks to all of you who joined in the Q&A yesterday evening. It was a good Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not being uploaded here. It was an event for the night, and we'll do another one when we hit 7,000 supporters. 7,000 subscribers here on Tales from the Jails. Today I'm going to talk about the problems with probation. Did you know, it's in the Telegraph today, that between the year 2010 and now, inmates on probation have committed over 700 murders and almost 1,000 rapes. That's inmates who were known to be offenders, who have been allowed to be on probation and released on probation and have committed over 700 murders and almost 1,000 rapes. It kind of makes you wonder how this is working. That's a tremendous amount, what do you think? It's almost 100 rapes a year, yeah? Like 2 rapes a week committed by inmates who are already known to the police and the probation service as being dangerous, and they are on the streets. It's very difficult to supervise people on probation, as you can understand. Now, listen, the probation service is now a part of the prison system, but when I was in the prison system, I didn't, as an officer, of course, I didn't see a great deal of use made of the officers' reports, which I believe that all officers should be. For the inmates who are under their charge, they should be making reports to the probation board, of their observations of inmates. Inmates, if you're watching somebody, for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, then you'll see if they are really presenting a facade to the probation service, or if they are genuine. Certainly, when I was a hospital officer, the observations made in the ward, when I was the officer in charge of the ward, was about 30 inmates, 30 inmates at the time. They were taken seriously, because obviously that's what I was doing all the time. I was at a desk administering the medication, making sure that the medical needs were met, and basically observing them. So I did speak to the psychiatrists and the probation, but as a general rule, the staff were not consulted by the probation team. I sincerely hope it's a different state of affairs now, but something tells me not quite. And certainly, what would be the point in asking some 18-year-old misplaced air hostess to observe the actions of a 40-year-old alpha male, seriously aggressive inmate? They wouldn't know what signs to look for. Wouldn't have a clue, would they? So that's the problem that we've got with the prison system at the moment. It just doesn't know what it's doing. It really doesn't. And apparently the Justice Secretary has stepped into the arguments with the Scottish prison service and put a halt on the transfer of all transgender male inmates into female prisons. And apparently there are 15 such inmates in Scotland, a number of whom have applied to be transferred from male prisons into female prisons. But there's been a moratorium placed on this, so that's not progressing. Well, it's time that people started to look at this, and apparently the standard rule is pretty much what's been suggested, that if you're carrying full equipment of the male, the full issue of the male genitalia, then basically you're not going into a female prison as an inmate. You don't find male prison officers working in female prisons as a general rule. I mean, if we go back to around about 1979, 1980, they were refurbishing Style Prison in Cheshire, and they were changing all the heating systems around, and they had a team of builders and engineers in there, and I was placed working in there, but only on a security basis to ensure that the builders and the engineers and the workers were not in any way being approached by the inmates, and they were not approaching the inmates. So I wasn't exactly going around locking them into cells, although obviously I would have to operate within the cell blocks, which were units, to change the heating systems. But generally speaking, there isn't too many male prison officers in female prisons, although I have known that in some establishments they've had to have a male hospital officer working with the doctors, which is only like in the NHS. And back in my day, the hospital staff were trained by both the NHS and the Home Office school. The school that I was taught at was in HMP Walton. That's Liverpool, yeah. HMP Liverpool. They had a training school there for hospital officers, and the main unit was in London, which is where I went for interview. So I did go through the school. I've got my certificate somewhere. It's from the Home Office. Anyway, basically the problem with the transgender inmates has been addressed, and there's a stop put on that at the moment, which is good because at least it puts people into a position where they can make a proper decision as to what's going to happen. I see today in the papers that some police officer has been arrested and charged and remanded in custody for grooming and sexually molesting a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, it seems that it's happening all the time. I mean, in Greater Manchester Police, there are apparently 98 serving prison police officers who are awaiting investigation into molesting females. What's going on? What is going on indeed? Anyway, it's a strange world, this. And here we are, tales from the jails. You can ask me questions down below. By all means, fire them in. Send the comments in. I will do my best to answer, and I usually do, don't I? Answer the questions, yeah. And I hope I answered the questions last night on the Q&As, which I did try. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to sing you another song now. So where's my song dinger? It's here. Here we go. Yeah. So thanks to all you who took part last night, Larry and Laura, Paula, and Bob. That's the song, ding, 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 dinger. Yeah, that's the warning. You're going to get a song now. I'm going to murder this one for you. I hope you're sitting comfortably, because I'm about to emasculate this. It's a song that was recorded recently by PJ Probation, who is a pervert himself. I reported him in 1990 for trying to groom an 11-year-old girl. That was the end of my relationship with Pro, because I ain't working with a pervert. But this is a song called Whiskey and You, originally by Chris Stapleton. So let me see if I can murder this for you. Hey, comments below are invited, and don't forget to get my book. And thanks for those who've been leaving me nice comments on Amazon. That's working. There we go. That's the last of the song dinger. And here we go. Whiskey and You. There's a bottle on the dresser by your ring, and it's empty. Right now I don't feel a thing, and I'll be hurting when I wake up on the floor, but I'll be over it by noon. That's the difference between whiskey and you. Come tomorrow, I can walk in any store. It ain't a problem. They'll always sell me more. But your forgiveness, well, that's something I can't buy. There ain't a thing that I can do. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. One's a devil, one keeps driving me insane. At times I wonder if they ain't both the same. But one's a liar that helps to hide me from my pain, and one's the long gone bitter truth. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. I've got a problem, but it ain't what you think. I drink 'cause I'm lonesome, and I'm lonesome 'cause I drink. But I don't break down and bring it on myself. I'll get hit out of the blue. Well, that's the difference between whiskey and you. One's a devil, one keeps driving me insane. At times I wonder, well, they're both just the same. One's a liar that helps me hide from my pain, and one's the long gone bitter truth. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. There you go. Whiskey and You, originally by Chris Stapleton, and I just emasculated it. And my name's John G. Sutton. Hope you've all enjoyed this. We'll no doubt speak again.